The more I listen to Alex Jones, the more convinced I become that he is part of a counterintelligence program as he continues to feed into the left versus right paradigm lie. Remember, guys, whoever owns the issuance and value of your currency, I used to have, oh yeah, here's some currency. Whoever owns the issuance and value of your currency owns the senators, the congressmen, the presidents, the governors. Everybody who's a policymaker, they're on the hook for this right here. Think about it. Think about the centralized power of owning a nation's currency, and then that nation happens to be in possession of the reserve currency of the world that other people have to use to buy energy, to buy food, for example. Listen to what Alex Jones says with regard to people in the Biden administration, the former Biden administration, admitting that they were controlled by a Politburo. Check this out.
Now they're all over the news going, you bet we had a Politburo. It's what we called it. It was a committee, and here's who was on it. Now, we are concerned that some staffers may have done some pardons for money, but that wasn't done by the Politburo. Like I said, next week, they're planning a limited hangout when these indictments start, and they're coming because it's open and shut.
The indictments are coming. Who does it sound like? He sounds more and more every day, every week, like QAnon.
You get paid money. They subpoena your bank account. You get $100,000 because you're the staffers, 3 of them, over the auto pen. And normally you get, the committee hands you what to do and what to sign, and you do it. And you go, hey guys, we can make some money here. Hey, it's a free-for-all. In any mafia or criminal organization, what they're really worried about is there low-level people committing crimes that get the whole organization in trouble by getting too much attention. Like in Goodfellas, isn't a true story, but it's a composite of mafia life. And the mobsters that watched it said, no, that's very accurate. And remember, the head mobsters are always bitching at the middle level guys going, you're being too sloppy. You stole too much. Watch out. You got to lay low for a while.
Yeah, part of this is true because you have to maintain some level of deception. There has to be a public relations campaign to make it look like it's not as bad as it actually is, because the public can't be alerted to how horrible and how corrupt and how many crimes are being committed by these organizations, whether you're talking about a mafia on this side or a Los Angeles Police Department or an NYPD that's investigated by the Knapp Commission because of Frank Serpico, and then 20 years later by the Mullen Commission, or investigations into widespread corruption within political circles. You can't make it look too bad for the masses because they have to continue to believe in you. That belief in authority, that's the glue that holds the whole show together.
So that's what they're doing. And so this illegitimizes everything they did. It's totally criminal. It is a pack of treasonous thugs, as Trump called them, close quote.
Yeah, of course. They're a pack of treasonous thugs on the Democrat side and on the Republican side within Trump's own camp. So here he is, not even playing the field. He is playing the Republican talking points. He is playing the Team MAGA talking points to get you diverted from the fact that the RNC and the DNC are corporate structures owned by the corporate elitists that own everything. They own every politician. That's why you have AIPAC largely in control of all of Congress. These are the legislators, the lawmakers, the people that will create more laws that limit our freedoms, that steal more of our money. And who are they being controlled by? Not the American people, but by a foreign entity.
Politburo. Now that's the name of a communist, Russian or Chinese or North Korean, unelected committee that rules as a dictatorship.
And would it matter if it was elected? Yeah, it refers to a small elite group within like a Communist Party central committee that holds significant decision-making power. So it's not Biden who's in control. It's not Trump who's in control. See, if Alex Jones was telling the entire truth, he would say this same Politburo type structure is also in place in the Trump administration, just as it was in place in the Biden administration, the Obama administration, the Bushes, the first Trump administration. So you got this small group of elitists who are in control of the decision-making power, and the Politburo is typically responsible for major policy decisions, strategic direction, and governance of the party, and by extension, the state and systems where the party controls the government. So you've got the party in control of the government, but who controls the party? The corporate oligarchs, the elitists. Now it's the technocrats like Peter Thiel.
That's a plutocracy, is the original subword of it, meaning a committee of dictators. A Politburo, close quote, secretly ran Biden's White House as aides were willing to do undemocratic things, quote, to stop Trump. And we've got them on the news, we've got them on podcast, literally saying, yes, we did it. Unbelievable.
Totally expected.
Alex Thompson, co-author of the provocative new book, Original Sin, President Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again, has ignited a firestorm across Democratic Party circles, asserting that a secretive cadre of aides ran the White House like a shadowy Politburo to conceal President Biden's failing mental health. Now they've been questioned.
Guys, this isn't a recent thing. This has been going on for a long, long time. I don't know why it's fuzzy right here, but let me just show you something. Woodrow Wilson, after he helped to bring about the Federal Reserve Act, literally said, this is back in 1913, the government, which was designed for the people, has got into the hands of the bosses and their employees, the special interests. An invisible empire has been set up above the forms of democracy. In other words, the people you think are in control, the Biden administration, the Obama administration, the Trump administration, the Clinton administration, the Reagan administration, the Ford, the Carter, the Nixon administration, you thought those people were in control, but they're just the front man. They're the puppets that you see on the stage during the children's show. You don't see the puppet masters. The shadowy figures behind the scenes are the ones who are actually animating the puppets and the policies that the puppets write.
The aides on interviews, they go, well, hell yeah, we called it a Politburo. Thompson told the Atlantic's Jeff Goldberg, of course, as they're putting out their official story, that he began questioning the White House's narrative about Biden's mental issues in April of 2023. I did it before he stole the election. After hearing concerns from administration insiders about Biden's capacity to endure a re-election campaign. So they're all making about how they covered it up. No, it's the auto pen that's the issue. Despite repeated denials from the White House, he described the tight-knit group secretly running things of aides referred to by some within the administration as the Politburo, effectively steering the White House.
The tight-knit group hiding behind the scenes. They're the ones effectively running the White House. Where else have we seen that type of language? Woodrow Wilson, again, I am a most unhappy man. I have unwittingly ruined my country. Guys, this is over 100 years ago. And Alex Jones is treating this as though, oh yeah, it's just, okay, Trump was running his administration for the first 4 years. And then Biden came in, and then the Politburo started pulling the strings and is actually, in control of the White House. Now we've got Trump in control of the White House again. Nobody's pulling his strings, is what Alex Jones is trying to convey here. A great industrial nation is controlled by its system of credit. Our system of credit is concentrated. The growth of the nation, therefore, and all our activities are in the hands of a few men 100 years ago. We have come to be one of the worst ruled, one of the most completely controlled and dominated. This is a former president of the United States over 110 years ago. And dominated governments in the civilized world, no longer a government by free opinion, no longer a government by conviction and the vote of the majority, but a government by the opinion and duress of a small group of dominant men. And yet, here you have Alex Jones, who's supposed to be a truth teller, trying to tell you that a Politburo type of organization was controlling the Biden White House, but they're not controlling the Trump White House.
Inner circle, Thompson noted, included longtime Biden aides like Mike Donnellan, Steve Ricchetti, Bruce Reed, Ron Klain, that's the big one, Ron Klain, alongside key figures close to Biden, such as First Lady Jill. Remember, I told you weeks ago, months ago, years ago, that was the committee. Hunter Biden, they all got in the committee. Jill. But again, Klain and them represented Biden. And they had one aide that represented Hillary. The deputy, Annie Tomasini, who often served as Biden's traveling chief of staff.
People should look at this and just be rolling their eyes. Why is Alex Jones treating this like it's something that's new, that just happened to the Biden administration? Let me give you one more quote. This is from Edward Bernays. He is considered the father of public relations. The public relations are lies. He's like the father of lies. He said, the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. And here you have Alex Jones pretending like, oh, that ruling power, that invisible government only controlled the Biden White House, only controlled the Obama White House, only controls Democrat administrations. That's it. Doesn't control Republican administrations. Never mind the fact that Donald Trump in his first term wrote a $6.2 trillion check to Big Pharma, the big pharma industrial complex, and to the corporate elitists. And very, very little of that money trickled down to us. And even though it did, we were warned by many, many people, including me, including Thomas Massey, including the last American vagabond and Derek Bros. When you write a check for that sum of money, there's something that's going to happen. It's going to trigger an event. And that event is called the hidden tax, called inflation. And then first 2-3 years of Biden, the entire term of Biden, we had massive inflation. Chicken went up like 50%, beef went up, food went up, gas went up. And hey, let's blame Biden. It's not even Biden or Trump's fault. They're just writing the policies that they were told to write by this shadowy government, by this invisible power, this true ruling power of our country. So let me read it again with that in mind. You're writing a $6.2 trillion check, not because you care about Americans. Remember, that was under the CARES Act. You say, I like take the guns first, due process second, not because you care about the Second Amendment, because you hate the Second Amendment and your puppet masters are telling you that's what you need to say. Hey, why don't you initiate a red flag law, Trump? Okay, done. Extreme risk protection order, red flag gun confiscation laws. The reason you do that is because you're being controlled, or you're just a cruddy person, or you're being controlled and you're a cruddy person. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society, it's an unseen mechanism. In other words, the people in the White House, you see them. You see the Department of Homeland Security official. You see the director of the FBI and the director of the CIA. You see the president of the United States. You see the vice president. You see them getting off of Air Force One and Marine One. But they're seen. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society, that's who we're really talking about. Those are the movers and the shakers, constitute an invisible government. That's what Alex Jones is talking about with the Politburo. This very few people who are actually controlling what's going on in the White House, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we've never heard of. You've heard of Joe Biden. You've heard of Barack Obama. You've heard of George H.W. and W. Bush. You've heard of Donald Trump, but you never heard of the people who actually control them. We also know to some extent Donald Trump is being controlled. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are being controlled by Peter Thiel and the technocrats. We know this. You know this, Alex Jones. We know their names. Who's controlling them? They're unseen forces and powers that even control the controllers of the people in the White House. This is a logical result of the way in which our democrat society is organized. Vast numbers of human beings must cooperate in this manner if they are to live together as a smoothly functioning society. And finally, also from Woodrow Wilson. Remember, this book, New Freedom, was written in 1913. 1913 is when we got the Federal Reserve. It's when we got the income tax. It's when we got the IRS. He says, since I entered politics, I've chiefly had men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive that they, those powerful big men of manufacturing and commerce, they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. And here we have Alex Jones trying to convince you that the Politburo bureaucrats, the political bureau controllers of Biden's White House, don't also control Trump's White House. That's today's Alex Jones. Not a truth teller. He's a truth hider and a lie teller. He'll tell partial truths. He says a lot of right things, just enough to be super, super dangerous, even more dangerous than if he just spewed constant lies. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. The best way you can help me with this channel, it's free. Just like this video right now and share this video. As far as I know, I don't know. If you know of any other channel doing this right here, talking about and exposing the reality, the horrendous reality of the left versus right paradigm lie, let me know who they are. I'd like to collaborate with them. Who's exposing that AIPAC owns Congress, that Trump wrote a $6.2 trillion stimulus package, that he did just as bad as Obama or Joe Biden did? Who's exposing the fact that Donald Trump truly is not pro-gun? The NRA is truly not pro-gun, which means they're decidedly anti-American. Red flag gun confiscation laws. He wants to unleash American law enforcement on Americans under the guise of keeping us safe. The most dangerous words in the English language are still, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I don't care if it's Biden's government, Obama's government, Reagan's government, Clinton's government, or Donald Trump's government. I'm from the government and I'm here to help is dangerous. Don't buy into it. Don't believe it. If you haven't done so already, it'll really help me greatly. Also, if you think it's worth it to become a member or to support me through the support links in the description below. Remember, the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance. And indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. Stop securing your own oppression and start today. I will see you in the next video.